Hello everyone, and welcome to the Examiners, where you think it, and I review it. I'm the Professor, leader of the Examiners, here to review Marvel and DC comics, and to either bash on them if they're bad, or praise them if they're good, or talk about their event comics that are soon to come. Like this latest one that came out recently, Dark Days, The Forge #1, prelude to the event called Metal. And with written by a bunch of legendary actors such as Jim Lee and Andy Curtin, if I am correct, and with a storyline that's very interesting. And it's been teased in the DC comics lately with one term. What is the Dark Dimension? And soon we will find out that answer. But for now, we reread the prelude of Batman and his secret and joke that he threw on everyone. So the one thing I want to talk about is the cover. It looks cool. You have Batman looking into the horizon and seeing a bulkier, more evil-looking Batman with his fist out, almost like a Heil Hitler, but not almost like a Heil Hitler, but his fist is closed, and having corpses around his legs, which is actually pretty weird. Why would you do that? And a dystopian future. There are also two other covers that involve Aquaman and Batman and Superman and Batman, which represent what's going to happen later in the comic. Now, before we begin with the story, let's talk about the cover. It looks cool. It has Batman looking into the horizon, seeing a much more bulkier, evil-looking Batman with, for some reason, a bunch of corpses wrapped around his legs. That I don't know why that is. That's kind of weird. And a bunch of Batman surveillance bots looking around, and everything, and the entire city is destroyed. It makes you wonder what's gonna happen. And gets the reader much more intrigued. Our story begins with Carter Hall, Hawkman, telling of his origins of when he first discovered the nth metal, and that how it described a message. And you want to know what I think the message was? Don't let people change your origins too much, or then you become Donna Troy. And which is not actually what it says. We don't know what it says. Then the next thing, we're in the research base in the Bermuda Triangle, learning with the guy with the volcano erupting, and then the last researcher recording the last of the data that they've gotten, stating that there's something wrong with the Earth's core, and that it's in the metal. Suddenly, a giant hands come through, and it's Batman in his lava-proof suit, almost lava-proof suit, getting the researcher and the data that he's collected inside a drive. And they quickly get out of there while Batman's just barely, as the suit finally breaks after they get out. But thanks to the help of Aquaman, they're able to get out of there along with the person. Then Aquaman states that was a Wayne Enterprises black site, a place that not even he knew, that not even Aquaman knew, and that was in the middle of the ocean. And asks Bruce what is he looking for, but Bruce asks the question, what were they hiding? And the next thing we see is an invisible jet with people saying he'll never find, no matter how much he'll look, he'll never find out. Meanwhile, in Mogo, Ganthet tells Hal Jordan that he must do a mission of the utmost, saying that there is a truth that is being brought into the light, and they do not want it to get out. So he sends them to a specific coordinates, and Jordan realizes it's the Batcave, and then Then Larry gets drop kicked by Duke, who later comments that Yellow is supposed to beat him, but even though you're supposed to have a ring for that. Meanwhile, while Jordan's holding on to him and during their conversation, they find a weird. Jordan finds the coordinates in the Batcave and finds a strange doorway that through a wall. How odd. The next scene brings us to the Immortal Man and a hooded guy who I know nothing about, with them talking about Elaine Thomas, Duke's mom, who if you don't know, lost her mind after getting hit by Joker's venom toxin. But the Immortal Man states that he asked her to join a group and even a secret battle that stretched the dawn of time, and even offered her to live forever. And the hooded guy asked why is he walking through memory lane, and states that she is reactivated and have been monitoring her, saying if she ever told anyone some things that she shouldn't, and that no matter how much Batman pries, she won't tell anyone about it, whatever it is. We then go back to Carter Hall, speaking more of his battle between his immortal enemy Hat-Set, fighting him along with his wife Hawkgirl, saying about how he's lived 100 years. But the interesting thing is that the times when he lives and the next life, he catches a glimpse of something, a mystery, and then catches a glimpse of a nightmare, the same glimpse of the opening cover of the book. Then something that's echoing through the very nth metal that gave them the immortality, and that he's writing down these very thoughts in a journal. Then we go back to Batman, who actually has a Batcave on the moon called the Lunar Batcave, and sending a message to Lucius that the black site 14 is down, and that to keep the other sites away from the water. While he's uploading the drive, he gets a little visit from Mr. Fantastic from the other Earth, with giving him the information that he asked for, saying that even he doesn't understand that he doesn't even understand what information Batman is even looking for, and saying that it's about time we needed him out. We need him out of the cage, or the box, whatever you call it. With Mr. Terrific saying, "You're damn right it is." We go back to the Batcave with Hal and Luke finding a mysterious gallery full of a bunch of items, with Hal's ring also going on the fritz and also burning for some reason. In the meantime, there's also this mysterious voice telling them about a mystery that Batman has been following for many years, talking about how the metal, basically talking about the nth metal, and he's come consumed to it, and how it's connected to Quarterly Owls, and how it connects to many legendary items such as Wonder Woman's gauntlets, the mask of Dr. Fate, and Aquaman's spear, and also talking about a weird metal called dinoecium, I think it was called, a green liquid, which relates to something with the Green Lanterns. And though Hal's deciding to go out, Duke decides to want to keep going along, and keep walking forward until they find an old rusty giant door. Back with Carter, he states that he's been investigating the nth metal alone, looking through every clue and exploring everything, until he finds one glimpse about the of a story that began with the first men in 3 tribes, but then we learns there's 4, and one of them is coincidentally looking like this Batman's symbol. Next thing, we go back to Batman going to the Fortress of Solitude for some reason, and not even knocking on the door. He just tells Bruce to open the door. Open the door. I know you're there. With Bruce walking in and Clark automatically stating that his heart is beating quickly, and Bruce explains that there's been a door there's a door I would have. There is a door I had in the lower part of the Fortress of Solitude that no one should. Is that if I ever come here, I must go in alone. And Bruce says the time has come. Batman, with Superman stating this is big for you, and that this lock is even big, and that this lock is even big. Nothing in this world can even open it. And then Mr. Miracle comes in, stating that that's why Batman called him. They go down to the bottom of the Fortress of Solitude with Mr. Miracle asking what happened to the key, and Batman stating that he threw it into the sun, with Mr. Miracle trying to make a joke out of that, but Batman doesn't joke. And then when Mr. Miracle opens the door, it explodes and tells him, "You can't be serious. You're not that stupid enough to hold on to this." And then Batman just says, "Thank you for your help, Mr. Miracle. I would like you to leave now. This is time for me to do this myself." And with Mr. Miracle leaving, and whatever you brought here, telling him to turn back, with Batman only saying that's all he needed. And then the glimpse he comes in is the tower from Anti-Monitor's tower from Infinite Crisis and Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, where the heck did he get That's kind of mind-blowing that he actually had the tower the whole time under the Fortress of Solitude, and with Batman saying like a compass and using his computer to run all vibrational let me get all sciencey on here, to run all vibrational data through the entire tower to find the exact dimensional frequency of this dark energy. And then he finds what's really in the dark once and for all. This is really getting tense. I mean, how did he get the tower? How did he even have the tower? And how did he even get it there in the first place? So we get to Carter Hall talking about how anyone who reads his journal never to follow his footsteps, no matter how many generations it's gone to, for there are many things that must be left untold. And this shows as Hal and Duke open the doors and find the Joker inside, telling them that they are just a huge joke for Batman, and how they've been a piece of the puzzle, that he has been trying to fit. He has been trying to do for many years. That's a very tenseful comic. What I can say about this is a very interesting comic. I am hooked on this, and this looks like a big event for DCU, and not DCU, but I'm very hooked on what's gonna happen next. Like, why is the Joker there? What is about the Nth Metal that we don't know about? But until then, we're just gonna have to wait till the next issues. And until then, I'm the Professor. Lear the Examiner is here to say that you are all a joke, and that you're part of a piece of a puzzle for Batman, and good night.